Welcome to the Enduro Method Daily Mobility Routine. So we're going to start off prone on the ground, going cobra to extension. So on this, keep feet together, press through the arms, going up as much as you can, nice and long, toes to chin. And then when you come back down, you're going to put the arms back to the side, thumbs out, palms facing the ground. Take the back of the hand up to the ceiling as far as you can. And then you're coming back to cobra. If you're able to go straight armed in that position, great. If it's not comfortable and you'd like to just stay bent arm, that's totally fine. But when you're in that extension position with the hands down by the hips, really focus on flaring the thumbs out to the side and take the back of the hand up to the ceiling. Pull those shoulder blades back and down toward the hip. So try and really retract them. We don't want to shrug shoulders into ears there. Think about curling your vertebrae off the floor as well. All right, next up, we're going into knee over toe lunge to hamstring. So you're going to be in a lunge position, then you're going to rock back, forward fold over that front leg. When you're in this lunge, we really want to drive that knee past the toe as much as you can. Heel might hover off the ground, that's totally fine. When you go back into that flexion, really try and round the spine as evenly as possible from tailbone up to the back of the head. And then when you come up into this lunge, again, try and get into good extension. Force that chest out, eyes up to the ceiling. When you're back in this lunge position, you can pull that toe back toward your head as well. It's very active. Drive the hips forward, get a good stretch through that opposite the back leg, hip flexor, forward fold, pull down with the core as well. Here we're just switching sides, same drill. Again, actively press in, drive that knee out over the toe, forward fold here, pull that back toe or the front leg toe up if you can. You'll notice that back leg, I have my toe pointed flat. You can curl the toes under on that back leg if you'd like to. You would also get a little bit more stretch through the bottom of the foot that way. But for me, I'm just going this way. And then when I sit back all the way onto that back leg, I'm getting a good stretch through the front of the shin and ankle. We're just going 1 minute at each exercise here. I kind of like a time domain for mobility because I don't feel like I have to rush through to get a certain amount of reps. I can just kind of hang out and move at a relatively easy pace throughout without feeling like if I go faster, I get it done quicker. Next one, we're going 90-90 hip rotations. So in this position, we'd like to see 90 degrees at the front of the knee, 90 degrees at the back knee. And then also, once you've got that 90-90 position, we want to see a kind of a straight line from the front foot, knee to back foot. So if you notice, that's kind of in line there. When you rotate over, think about opening that knee up. Keep the other leg down as long as possible until it kind of has to get pulled over into position. You're going to forward fold over that front leg, almost like a pigeon stretch. And then be really active and try and get the hips and legs to do the work. Keep your hands on the ground for support as needed. And we also want to stay as tall as possible through the torso. You're going to get more internal hip rotation or internal hip stretching if you do that. So try and keep the low back as flat as possible. Next up, going instep plus shoulder rotation. So this long lunge position. You're going to take that inside arm, reach up and around all the way on the low back, and then come back around, take the elbow down toward the foot. So thumb up, reach around, let the shoulder articulate, place the back of the hand on the low back, and then open that shoulder as far as you can, reach back around, elbow to foot. You can keep that back knee off the ground or place it on the ground. You'll see me go back to the ground here shortly with that back knee. Either one's fine. You're definitely a little bit more active through the legs if you keep that back knee up, but putting it on the ground's good as well. The main thing is that you're really focusing on big sweep of the arm up and around. Don't speed through it. Try and gain, like if you were drawing a circle with the hand, and then thumb goes down, back of the hand, a little back, and then crank that shoulder open, come back around, reach that elbow down to the foot. Every pass you go through, you're always trying to gain a little bit more range of motion or a little bit deeper of a stretch as you go through. If you didn't want to deal with a timer or having a stopwatch in front of you or a watch, you could always just do this for reps as well. 5 to 10 reps per exercise per side, something like that. But the nice thing about the time is, again, you don't have to worry about how fast you're going through. You're just going to be at the same move for that amount of time, and you'll be done in 9 minutes. If you do reps, it might take a little longer. It might go a little bit quicker. But either one's totally fine. Right, next up, we're going hinge plus squat to reach. So in this hinge position, we want a soft bend in the knee and vertical shins. So shins are perpendicular to the floor when you hinge over. You're going to push the hips back, chest goes down to the floor. Once you get as deep into that stretch as you can in that hinge position, you're going to drop the arms to the floor. From here, pull the hips down into that bottom of squat position, arms inside knees. Once you're down, pick the arms up overhead first and then stand. Every time you do this hinge, try and get a little bit deeper. Reach down, pull the hips down, nice and balanced through the foot. Try and keep those scaps back and down, raise the hand, and then stand. You don't have to cross your arms over your chest. If you want to put them somewhere else, you can. All right, standing side bends. So feet just under the hips here. We're going to reach up and over. As you do, you want to push the hip out to the side and reach that top arm up and across as far as possible. So imagine you're standing facing a wall. We want to try and maintain that plane with the body so we're getting as much stretch through that kind of lat, obliques, hip as possible. Again, push that hip out, reach the other way. Think about being as long as you can, fingertips to foot on that working side. And then instead of like scrunching that inside, still think about length. It's a small, subtle thing, but might make a difference. So again, nice and big stretch, push the hip out to the side, reach across, stay in the same plane. Finishing off with a little bit of wrist love here. We got wrist extension to fingertip. So elbows locked, try and drive the front of the elbows through. You're gonna rock over, press through the fingertips all the way back up onto the fingertip. We're just going 20 seconds each one of these here. Next one, wrist flexion to push up, so back of hand. Keep most of the weight on the hips on this. It can be kind of intense in the beginning. But you're dropping onto the back of the hand. You want enough weight to where you're actually pressing through the back of the wrist to come up to that fist position. Keep the elbows straight as you can. Last one, wrist rocks. So make a fist, drive that elbow forward. You're going to rock over the index finger and then down over the pinky finger. And then that wraps it up. All right, thanks for following along with our Enduro Method daily mobility routine.